You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Welcome to the White Wall Sessions Radio. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. On tonight's show, Earl Short, Jillian Rae, and the Center State. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter by searching the White Wall Sessions. The White Wall Sessions would like to thank these fine sponsors for their support. Last Stop CD Shop, Bell Incorporated, Workplace IT Management, Ben's Brewing Company, Screenflare, J. Rick Music, The Pink Moon Room, Minuteman Press, and South Dakota Friends of Traditional Music. Earl Short brought his one-man band from Des Moines, Iowa to our studio for an unforgettable performance for Season 7. Aaron is a well-seasoned songwriter, storyteller, multi-instrumentalist, and 20-year veteran of the music industry.
I guess that church house lawn was laid out just right. It was a place to be for after school fights. Meet me there at 3:30. If you can back the talk, then I guess we'll see. Just in case anybody decides to jump in, I'll bring in 2 or 3 of my toughest friends to watch my back. So tell your guys if they get any ideas. Won't be surprised at the church. At the church. At the church, it's fighting season, so give me the time, 'cause I got the reason. We've been talking for too long now. Time to show what we both know how at the church. Anything goes, they got a lot of tricks, so stay on your toes. They don't mind taking a cheap shot. It's God's house, not God's parking lot at the church. At the church. Take a chance and roll the dice, but let me warn you, I don't play nice. Take what's owed, no matter to me, it's your choice. The words are alone that go so far in this world. You either fight like a boy or you fight like a girl, but I've seen some girls mop this place up with the boys. That's true. Church, it's time to fight, so take your shot like it's your God-given right. Win some, lose some, that's how it goes. Wash your sins and your bloody nose at the church. Anything goes, so stick and move and stay on your toes. Watch out for those cheap shots. Rules change out in the parking lot at the church. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. At the church.
We're here at the White Wall Sessions with Earl Short from Des Moines, Iowa. Great city of Des Moines. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I had a great time.
So we've got some friends down in that area.
Okay.
I know from Iowa, Matt Woods,
Oh, yeah.
Matthew James,
Yes.
Jay Jeffrey, Woody and the Tucker Hill Citizens Brigade. You know any of those guys?
Yeah, I knew the first three that you mentioned. Yeah, yeah.
Maytags are from Des Moines,
yeah.
I think.
Yes, yeah. They're, I believe, from Des Moines area or Ames, somewhere. I'm not.
So,
positive.
how is the music scene in Des Moines?
It's amazing. There's a lot of great stuff. Whatever you like, singer songwriters, full on bands, and sometimes crossover. There's a lot of crossover that goes on, and it's a really strong music scene.
So, how long have you been playing?
24 years now.
Really?
Yeah. My grew up in a musical family. My dad and mom both sang. My dad and played guitar, and they both written some songs. Handfuls of the songs over the years. And my brothers, my two older brothers, played. One played bass, and one was a guitar player, and they're still musicians and out doing it. And I kind of sat back, observed until I was about 20, and thought, okay, I think maybe I can try this. But I started writing, and I really wanted a place to put my writings,
So they played together in a band?
Yeah.
You're kind of the Andy Gibb of the
yeah.
of the Bee Gees.
Yeah, and my dad had a few guys that he played with over the years in the early 80s that I recall, but there was a guy, Jack Blythe, who he played with as a duo for, 20, 25 years or something like that together. And when our brothers and I and our friend who played the drums, we all played together as a band, doing a lot of cover songs and stuff, but then we kind of, the boys, we started writing our own songs and branched off. And then one brother quit, and I kind of had to I started over kind of. For 2 years, I wrote a lot of songs and started a new band, and my oldest brother came along, and we did that for about 10 years, and my wife and I did a lot of years together, and now we have a 2-year-old, so I'm doing a lot of solo stuff. So that's the long story.
So you developed that guitar style after you started playing in bands, or was it kind of as you were playing in bands?
Yeah, probably as. When I first started, my family was kind. They let me play guitar and bash away on, some open chords and bar chords that I kind of knew, and I didn't really know the songs that great, but they were very kind and let me just join right in. So I was learning on the fly, which I felt was my best way to learn anyway. And when the three brothers and our friend Bill, who's with the drummer, when we played together, my brother's the guitar player was the kind of the lead guitar player, but he also had a young family, so he couldn't be there for a lot of practices. So I kind of would just
fill in,
noodle around trying to figure it out, But I guess him being a good family man is the reason I can play guitar now.
There you go. That's awesome. So your nephew is the reason. Your
My
niece or
niece
nephew.
is right. Yeah.
So, did you play electric or acoustic?
My brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's like a Telecaster kind of specialist,
Go ahead.
He does acoustic too. He's just an outstanding guitar player, and I stole a lot of my licks from him.
Was it the electric guitar that got you excited, or both the acoustic and electric?
When I think that I got an electric first, but when I got this guitar is when it really I was like, this is my home, I felt
and Aaron's pointing at a beautiful old Gibson. Well, the '90s Gibson.
Yeah,
looks like a Dove, but it's not.
Right, it's a CL20 Standard Plus. But yeah, it's really nothing anything too fancy. It's just a straightforward great. I wanted a guitar that I could write a lot of songs on, and Gibson felt like the way to go for me.
with the devil in the alley so dark and high, where his barrels burn old souls for sins that even he forgot. Me, I've been here before, and I've held those red hot dice. I've rolled dice with the devil, not afraid of his snake eyes. I've matched wits with the devil ever since I was a pup. I know I ain't seen every trick that old devil can make up. And I'll be damned if he won't try me at least one more time. I bet might outsmart me one day, but he ain't done it yet. So I cut heads with the devil if it was for a good cause. Bet he'd pick a mean guitar with all that soul under his claw. And I bet he'd pull out all the stops when push came down to shove. But I'd cut heads with the devil if it was all for love. Yeah, I cut heads with the devil if it was all for love. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Good heads with the devil.
Coming up after the break, Jillian Rae.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Hi, I'm Ben Hanton, founder of Ben's Brewing Company. At Ben's, we've always appreciated the finer things in life, like great friends, great music, and great beer. Ben's Brewing Company is proud to announce our White Wall Session Ale. This light pale ale is sourced from the finest local ingredients and pairs exceptionally well with great friends and great music.
Enjoy responsibly. Ben's Brewing Company, Yankton, South Dakota.
Good people drink Ben's beer.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Our good friend Jillian Rae returned to the studio for a third time while on tour promoting her latest album, I Can't Be the One You Want Me to Be. She is a top-shelf musician and a fantastic songwriter. Jillian also brought a great rhythm section, including James Osterholt on bass and Christian Wheeler on drums.
Take me for a ride. You wanna see what's on the other side. You know exactly what to say.
Jillian Rae is back with us on the White Wall Sessions. Welcome back, Jillian.
Thank you.
And Eric is back too.
Yeah, thank you.
Jillian, can you introduce this great band here?
I would love to. This is Eric Martin, who plays guitar and has a huge role in the sound and production. This is Christian Wheeler, who plays drums. And when he's not playing drums, when we're a 5-piece, he plays keyboard, synthesizer, and auxiliary guitar. And then last but not least, we have Jimmy Osterholt, who plays dub bass.
Yep. So, Jillian Rae, we had you in season 2 and season 3 of the White Wall Sessions. And I just remember the first time you came in, you just killed it. It was awesome. And
Thanks.
Eric was there. Mm-hmm. And we had Christian here just last week.
Yeah, we did.
With Lucid Vanguard, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy, so let me talk about that. You're from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Christian is here kind of tells a story about Minneapolis and the musicians in that community. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. The best way I can put it is that Minneapolis, the music scene anyway, is very much like a big small town feel. Like it's a city. It's a really cool urban environment. There's a lot of people, especially in the surrounding suburb areas. Everything is connected, but the music scene is really amazing. It's really supportive. Like we're all rooting for each other, and we very much cross-contaminate.
Yes.
Well, I mean, look, before I started my own band, I was playing in 9 bands, and then I started my own and dropped it down to like 5 or 6. And now I currently play in like 4 or 5.
So you're taking a break with 4 or 5 bands.
I'm taking a break with like 4 or 5 bands, no bigs, yeah, but it's really cool because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an expert on every like subgenre of our scene, but I do really feel like the Minneapolis-St. Paul music scene has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool for me as like a folk and like bluegrass fiddler. Then I can also, find a rock band to play in. And I was playing in a cosmic country cover band for a while, the Blackberry Brandy Boys. That was a fun outlet. Jimmy plays in a really baller. You call it a metal band. I call it a hard rock band.
However you like to call it.
Yeah. There's an
It's a
amazing
band.
hip hop scene. I mean, Christian plays in literally every band there is in Minneapolis in all the genres. So I don't know. I think it's a special community.
Yeah, it is, because I think of just the people who've been at the White Wall Sessions, Doug Collins, Sarah Morris, Mike Munson. You've played with all of those. I mean, I'm sure there's so many more.
Friends. Yes.
Yeah.
We're real life friends. It's not just like, I know that person. Like, we love Doug. We love Sarah. We super love Mike. Like, the Chateau Munson is where we stay when we go to Winona.
The Chateau Munson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Le Chateau Munson.
Well, yeah, you said Winona. It does extend kind of to Winona. I mean, there's a lot of great music coming out of Winona and La Crosse and all that.
It's Minnesota in general. Like, when I first started playing in bands, when Eric and I first got together, we were living in Duluth. And I mean, the Duluth, like that area has a music scene that then spills over to Minneapolis because it's the biggest city. Winona is the same thing. Rochester, great musicians. Annie Mac lives in Rochester.
Annie Mac was here.
Holy crap. She is my idol. I love her. Yeah.
So when did this lineup happen? I mean, obviously Eric's been with you for a long time.
Eric's obligated.
You keep putting your hand on his leg, so I haven't seen.
I am obligated.
Eric's obligated. No, we it's funny because like I played in bands for so long without you, and knowing that you're an amazing guitar player. And I mean, Eric has been doing front of house sound since he was a kid with his dad, who is an amazing front of house sound guy. So it just made sense. Like, I think I'm confident and brave enough to put my own songs out there. It took me a long time to get there. I'm trying to think of when you came into my life, Jimmy. I feel like I've known you forever. You're my best friend, but it wasn't really that long ago.
Yeah, it was probably like 3 years ago ish. I'd seen Jillian a number of times as like a side person just playing fiddle in bluegrass bands or whatever. So I was aware of who Jillian was. And it wasn't until like a few months before I started playing with you that I caught your set at Ice House of you doing a Jillian Rae set. And I was like, whoa, this chick is like way more than just like a side fiddle player. This is cool. So I determined to like ingratiate myself to her.
Did we first meet at Ice House?
No, we didn't actually meet that night. We met at some like block party.
It was at Midwest Music Fest.
That's right. I met you after your Gospel Machine set because I had a huge musical crush on that whole band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you and I decided to like get drinks, and we ended up just getting wasted at Palmer's.
I don't wanna be inebriated. I just wanna feel appreciated. I just wanna feel. Don't know much about dinner parties. Never put the sugar in my coffee. No, I only like it strong. You can always have it any way you want. I am always wondering how you pull it off. Never worry about being proper. After all, I got a lot to offer. Oh, here, brag and let it hang. Take me out to use table manners. Keep me in the talk about what matters. Oh, never get me too confused. You can always have it any way you want. You were always wondering if I would mess it up. I can't be the one you want me to be. I can't be the one you want me to be. I can't be the one you want me to be. I can't be the one you want me I don't wanna be inebriated. I just wanna feel appreciated. I just wanna feel.
Hey, thanks so much.
Coming up after the break, the center stage.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Hi, I'm Ben Hanton, founder of Ben's Brewing Company. At Ben's, we've always appreciated the finer things in life, like great friends, great music, and great beer. Ben's Brewing Company is proud to announce our White Wall Session Ale. This light pale ale is sourced from the finest local ingredients and pairs exceptionally well with great friends and great music.
Enjoy responsibly. Ben's Brewing Company, Yankton, South Dakota.
Good people drink Ben's beer.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
The Center State is a 4-piece folk Americana group from St. Joseph, Missouri. The group made the trip from St. Joseph to Sioux Falls and gave a truly unforgettable performance. The band was formed in 2012 and has shared the stage with artists such as Matthew West, Paul Clark, Sky Smead, Nick Africano, The Social Animals, and Jessica Page. The Center State is Jeremy Sharp, guitar and vocals, Brad Davidson, bass and vocals, Mackenzie Davidson, violin and vocals, and Ryan Shaw on drums.
Fighting tempo.
Oh, it'd be great. It would be beautiful.
There's a dry smell and disguise over me. I crave only you, but you nowhere to be seen. I'm lost in the wilderness. Yes, I'm lost in the wilderness. Under the lonely star, I lay my weary head. The coyotes they howl from afar, a sweet lament. I'm lost in the wilderness, and I can't find my baby anywhere. She's been gone since the night before last, and I'm lost in the wilderness. Yes, I'm lost, but I'm gonna bring her back.
Thanks. Well, goodness. How are y'all doing this fine afternoon?
All right, we are here at the White Wall Sessions with the Center State from Kansas City / St. Joe. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
Jeremy, can you introduce the band?
Yeah. To my right is Mackenzie Davidson,
Hello.
and she is married to this wonderful guy, Brad Davidson.
Hey.
And then at my second left is Ryan Shaw. He just joined
Hello.
up with us. He's a great drummer.
And this is Jeremy Sharp.
And
Sharp.
I'm Jeremy.
All right. So, how did this band start? Because the lineup, it hasn't always been this.
No.
It's been. Tell me about when you started.
Well, it started originally. I was invited to do some kind of musical act or group for a new festival that started in St. Joseph called Imagine 11 Concert Series, And I was like, sure, I'll come up with something. And at the time, I had done a few shows with Mackenzie playing violin for me here and there. And I asked her, and she was like, sure, I'd love to. And so we started a couple rehearsals. And as we were doing rehearsals, she was part of a musical a musical in St. Joseph. And Brad was in it, and they were dating at the time. And he did the suave thing of asking her to marry him on stage at like the last night, was it?
Yeah, it was
the last night
of the production
in front of like thousands of people. It was great.
Small thing.
I said
Small.
yes. So.
And she said yes. And so once they were engaged, I basically approached Brad and I said, Brad, you got to be part of the band. We got to get to know each other because I want to continue to do music with your soon-to-be wife.
Well, originally it started out, you said, hey, I don't want to be awkward, me hanging out with your fiance. You want to come to practice. And so I was just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, and Jeremy's like, oh, Brad, do you play any instruments? He didn't say it like that, but that's how Brad heard it, right? And so I said, well, I dabble on guitar. Perfect. Pick up that bass. I don't know how to play bass. Yes, you do. It's a guitar minus 2 strings.
Yeah.
It is? Oh, okay. So I picked it up from there, and then we started.
And then he was playing bass in the corner,
right?
And he was singing to himself. And then I'm like,
It sounds so
dude,
crazy.
you can sing too,
Great
and
voice.
I'm like come here.
Harmony.
And then all of a sudden we reworked all of the songs that we were working on with a third part. And that's kind of how it was real organic. It wasn't like forced or anything like that, other than me forcing Brad to play bass.
Yeah, not forced at all.
And the band was not intended to last very long. It was for a specific date and a specific stretch, And strangely enough, I mean, we're in I think that was in 2012, and we're still going. And and the philosophy behind it is it just has to make sense. When we play shows, when we book shows, when we do practices, when we do song selection and all that, does it make sense for everybody? And if it doesn't, you just got to let go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a fascinating band. I mean, just the way the players and the singers and the songs are, it's really interesting. Is that the personality of the band, or do you write the songs to be, I guess what I'm trying to say is some of those harmonies and some of the interesting parts that are happening in those songs. Is it just you get together and you just start, that happens in practice?
I would say yes, for the most part. I'd say 90% of the time. Typically, Jeremy would present a song or an idea, and Brad and I would then twiddle our thumbs for a second, listen to it. And I guess I could talk for myself, but I hear harmonies naturally, and so I will then just kind of sprinkle a little spice to enhance and make it feel fuller, and then we typically build onto that. I think we've used creating albums as good timelines for us to have our songs composed, all the compositions completed by that point. So they do kind of organically change as we play live. So
They do. They mature.
Yeah, they do mature. That's a good way of saying it.
And to talk about it's not just vocals that kind of get.
That's what I hear.
You hear vocals, but then Brad and I will go back and forth with different melodic like lead parts and different bass parts. I'm like, hey Brad, try this, and he's like, okay, and I'll literally hum him a line, and he'll be like, okay, and he'll try to find it, and
then I do find it.
Then you do find it. Well, okay, then he finds it, and that was more of a knock on me trying to explain it rather than you trying to find it.
So in summary, Jeremy is the primary songwriter on the first and second album. We're working on a third one right now. Date of release to be determined. But so on these first and second ones, Jeremy essentially had all of the bare bones of all the songs because he's such a creative. He says, I lean on Brad and Mackenzie for their creative, side of the band, but really, when it boils down to it, he's the main songwriter, and so he brings us the bare bones, and then we're able to put some clothes on it, if you will, and make it look nice and pretty. Polish it up.
So, when you write the songs, are you writing a song to write a song, or do you hear the other players when you're writing, and do you write for them?
I have. I mean, there's multiple different ways of when you write a song. Like sometimes you can write a song just by almost like there's a song that we have called "Tired and Given In," and that's on our first album. And that was a song written out of an exercise. The exercise was to only play 3 chords over and over and over again, and write a song that's interesting on top of it.
And then that's how "Oh the Agony" came in, because you hate playing 3 chords over and over again, but it was such a stretch. No, that was a joke.
Was it?
That's a good one.
Doesn't involve a horse, but it's
no horse. But so you can sometimes write a song out of exercise, and sometimes you write, like there's another song called "I Am Just a Girl" that I wrote with Mackenzie in mind.
I loved hearing you sing it first.
That was fun. I am just a girl. It was not the easiest task, though. And then I would say the majority of the songs that I write are written out of emotion, like a feeling rather than a concept or a storyline. And then they kind of develop because you go with the emotion of the chords or the song, and then kind of work backwards and go, okay, how would somebody come to this emotion? And then work backwards and then build a storyline possibly on top of that.
Morning light, are you just waking up? I've been waiting to show you the sun. Take your time, wipe away all the sleep from your eyes. Stretch your arms up to the sky. Come and see the sunrise. You and me, love, it's gonna be a good day. Welcome to trust, it's gonna be somewhere to go. You're aching to know. You and me, love, it's gonna be a good day. Welcome to trust, it's gonna be a good day. You and me, love, it's gonna be trust, it's gonna be a good day. Be a good day.
Hey, love, can you feel it? The shadows run when the warmth creeps in. It's a new day and it's worth living. I see you, I can't believe it. Don't be scared, let down your head. Let me hold your hand, oh, let me hold your hand. Breathe in the space around you. And let's begin.
You and me, love, it's gonna be a good day. Welcome to trust, it's gonna be a good day. You and me, love, it's gonna be a good day. Welcome to trust, it's gonna be a good day. A good day. A good day.
Thank you so much.
White Wall Sessions is recorded at Last Stop Studios in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and is produced by Spectrum Films Incorporated. Executive producers are Jeff Zuger, Doug Taylor, Greggy Johnson, and Jay Fishback. Head of broadcast is Dave Palmer. Associate producer is Mike Yeager. The White Wall Sessions Radio is produced and edited by Jeff Zuger. Audio recording and mixing by Carl Koiser, Kevin Phipps, and Dave Palmer. Scheduling and artist relations, Tom Eisner. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. Join us next week, same time, same station.
You are listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.